This video is sponsored by EA. I did purchase these kits, but I will get into my creator code in a little bit. Are these about to be the most divisive kits, even though the Sims 4 community voted for them? Yes, we are about to be checking out the two new kits that just came out for the Sims 4. These are the Goth Galore Creator Sim kit and the Castle Estate Build kit. Of course, I have my Gothic Lilith Pleasant here to show off the Creator Sim kit. I'm actually quickly just gonna remove her hair because I want to check out the accessories. First of all, we actually got two new accessories which are tagged as feminine. We got this set of earrings, so we have like just a regular hoop and then kind of like an ear cuff or a thicker hoop, I guess you could say. And then on the other side we have this super long, I don't know what these are called. Is it like a spike plug? I personally think it looks sick. I would absolutely love it if we could mix and match these. I've said that about earrings. Obviously, not everything comes in black. It looks like we may be seeing a little bit of a rainbow goth with this little swatch that we've had going on here. But we got some red, pink, and then also some golds and silvers. I don't know what these types of necklaces are called. I'm not very well polished on the necklace front. I want to call it like a collar necklace, not as in like, you know, like a dog collar, but it looks like a Peter Pan collar. I don't know, maybe that's just the Zoella jumping out of me, which if you would have said that I would put Zoella in a video where I talk about a goth kit, I wouldn't have believed you, yet here we are. I do quite like it. I love this all black swatch. I think that looks sick. I think that's honestly probably the one that I will get the most use out of. Again, all the default swatches are black, but those aren't the only swatches that you have to have. We do have like some pinks and some more reds, purples, very dark, but obviously we also have the slider as well, so you can make this really any color you want it to be. I think this one is more interesting. This is like one of the only swatches that does it, that kind of has like a line underneath of the different color, like the contrasting color. I don't know if it's because the others just have really dark colors that kind of blend, but why don't more of them look like this? Like, I think that's a really sick little detail. I probably won't get like loads of use out of this. I can only really see me using it on like Sims that I want to have really heavy makeup. Then we kind of have this like two-tone. I do love the default swatch on this one, kind of like black around the edges and then purple in the middle. There's only a couple that kind of have that two-tonedness to them. I don't think EA makeup is ever the best, but it's not the worst. But also it does look similar. I feel like I've given this lipstick to other Sims before. I don't know what you would call this look. I like the pink version, actually. I was expecting that to be white. I will say I do have custom content on my sim. I obviously have eyelashes and I also have CC makeup and skin. There is a little bit of like pixelation around here. Honestly, it only really seems to be part of the pink. The gray kind of comes all the way over to this. Moving on to the clothing, we have 6 new tops for the feminine tag stuff. I actually really like this one. It's kind of giving like Get Famous, Realm of Magic, but it definitely looks different enough. And I know that there's definitely going to be discourse around this kit. I feel like it was always going to happen with a goth creator sim because there are so many subgenres of goth. Like, I've been seeing the discussions ever since we got the previews of this. I feel like they were never gonna please everyone. There's actually some swatches I really adore. Personally, I would have loved to see like this kind of netting, like I always want to say it's fishnet as an undershirt accessory because I feel like that would have personally been a lot more usable to me if we could layer these things. I'm kind of sad that it's attached under this corset. Ooh, I absolutely love the red undertones that we have on this one. We got some spider web and then a red version, and also, so you do have your pastel goth in a way. I mean, we're only getting like one swatch here or there. We've obviously got like the rainbow rainbow earrings. Now we're getting like a fair bit of pink. It looks like pink is going to be a swatch in most of these things. Have to say, I am a fan of this leather jacket. I feel like a lot of the leather jackets that we have in The Sims 4 aren't the best. I honestly could have lived without like the ribbing and sort of like the plumb bob texture. I honestly would have just preferred a really, really good like basic leather jacket. This is actually one of the better leather jackets that we have in the game. I do like this detailing. I think that's really nice. This t-shirt with like this undershirt underneath. I so wish that they could have just given us these undershirts to layer with other stuff that we have within the game. Like obviously I am used to using custom content. It's why I voted on a Goth Creator Sim kit, because I use a lot of custom content to get a kind of goth look within my game. But I use an awful lot of these undershirts. I have them in accessories, under gloves. Solitaire does really, really good ones. I wanted to see a little bit more of that. Again, there's some like pixelation. I do, however, like that they gave us the little like netting underneath. It just would have been better as an accessory. I'm gonna stop going on about it. I like that. The Bone Hilda one, that is a sick graphic. I hate this one. This is what reminds me of vampires. Like this Victorian-esque wallpaper. It looks like a scratch and sniff to me. We have the Freezer Bunny, which is the Death Freezer Bunny, the Grim Bunny. And then we do have the pastel version, which is like a light blue. Honestly, the t-shirt is kind of giving base game. It is a nice looking t-shirt though. I feel like we need more basics in the game. I would have liked this if they had just given us the t-shirt as well. We have a pastel version of the Grim Bunny, and then we have a red version of the Bone Hilda one. Oh, these would have been so good as an under accessory. I really, really like this top. It's got the corset to it. There is, however, a little bit of texture to the corset. This is a really good looking asset. These are so cool. The little like fingerless arms. Another cobweb design. We have the pink and black, and then we also have this. What is going on here? Disruption to, sorry for touching your boob, Lilith, but there is a little bit of disruption that I'm seeing in the little cutouts. Have to say, not a huge fan of this one. I do feel like it will look good on some Sims. I'm just not really a hood kind of gal in The Sims 4. Like, I don't think a lot of the stuff that we have that is hooded looks very good. I will say this looks like one of the more natural hoods. I just think like everything that goes above the head on Sims looks too high. Like it always feels as if they could shave 2 inches off, be it like a quiffed hairstyle, be it a hoodie, be it a hat. They always just feel too tall, and I think that's what I'm getting from it. I also don't like how it makes most of the Sims bald. And finally, we have this crop top. Ooh, that's a thing, to be fair. Like that one isn't really cropped. Like I definitely feel like the trousers will come up to here. This one is cropped, and also this one is cropped. Ooh, I love the detailing on that though. I mean, it does just look like it's painted onto the skin, but I do quite like it. This as an undershirt would have also been so nice. And then we have versions without the undershirt on as well. Like the pink one is just a vest top, and then you again have the wallpaper. Trousers, we have 5 bottoms. We have these shorts right here. Not a huge fan of these, if I'm being completely honest. Like there's something about the dimension that just looks a little bit off to me. Like they look too short. I definitely would have preferred these to like sit a little bit longer. I know you can probably put like tights underneath that make them look a little bit better, like something like this. I always hate it when we get like these like leather strappy things, and I also know that's been people's feedbacks from seeing like the previews is this feels like Realm of Magic, it feels like vampires, it feels like the grunge kit, which I personally see more like Realm of Magic in these assets, I think, over anything else. The belt is just painted on, which is weird because I feel like they've added texture and definition to these, but then they've not added it to the belt, so it just makes it feel like a little bit disconnected. I can't really see myself getting loads of use out of this, but I do feel like this is a very specific use case, you know? Like, obviously I have Wolfgang, and Wolfgang would probably look absolutely sick in these. Morgan Fires would probably look absolutely fire in these. I do, however, like these jeans. Again, the belt buckle, I really just wanted that to be chunky. Like, I wanted it to be a statement piece, and it's just giving me nothing. They're a little bit more low-waisted than we are used to seeing in The Sims 4 recently. I feel like a lot of things have been high-waisted, but I do feel like it goes and matches with this top quite well. We have this skirt right here, which kind of just looks like a lot of the tennis skirts that we have. There is a little bit of detailing with this sort of like belt chain, and then obviously you do have the netting. Ooh, I like the pixelated like crossbones. That's kind of cool. I mean, what makes this different from all the rest of the tennis skirts is pretty much this little detailing here, and also the big belt. And finally, we have these shorts. Okay, come through buckles. I'm just thinking of that one video of like goths raving under like an underpass or something. I don't hate these. I don't love them. This little like skater dress right here, I mean, it is cohesive. Like, everything kind of goes together. I can definitely see Cassandra Goth rocking one of these, maybe for like her party wear, which I think is good goth representation, if you ask me. I am really sad about this like trench coat. I would have much preferred this if this had been like floor length. This is probably one of the most disappointing things. Like, I actually do think I'm gonna use it, although it does look like a base game like career unlock. I think for like the villain career, kind of giving this, and it's kind of giving this. I feel like this is more so what I was expecting from a goth kit. I definitely just would have enjoyed it more if it was kind of like straighter, looked like a sort of softer leather, and was also much lower. Two accessories. We have this spiked bracelet over here, which I know I'm gonna get use out of. I use these type of bracelets on a fair few of my Sims. Again, you kind of have that like prismatic element to it, and then the black on black, I think that looks sick. And then we have these gloves. Kind of wish we got a fingerless glove variant that was like more plain than this. And then we have two sets of shoes, which honestly, I am a really big fan of the shoes. I know that people have related these back to the Realm of Magic base game shoes, actually. There's a red pair that are like proper chunky. These ones right here, I think the Goth Kit ones look much better than these personally. So you kind of have the lower version, which has a super cool sole on it. I absolutely love soles that look like this. Huge fan of those boots. And then these ones I'm even more of a fan of, like these massive platforms. They are so sick. They do not change your Sim's height or anything like that. I absolutely am gonna get so much use out of these. I have wanted a pair, oh, in the white as well. Yes, I've wanted a pair of boots like this. Sorry, I didn't go through the swatches of these, but they're pretty similar. So very cohesive when it comes to colors, I guess. Take that back, actually. We got white shoes, and yet we didn't get a lot of white in the other assets. For the mask Sims, we don't really get anything too different. We get the same two accessories. The only makeup by default that is tagged for masculine is the face. This definitely isn't my favorite t-shirt. I'm not a huge fan of this. I can't really see myself getting a lot of use out of this one personally. We also have this vest. This isn't too bad, honestly. If I stick one of those undershirts underneath it, I can see myself getting use out of this one. You also have the detailing across the side. We have all the same bottoms, so you have the baggier ones, you have the skinny version, and then you also have the shorts. Wolfgang looks pretty sick in the shorts, I will say. And then they just get the kind of long trench coat again, the gloves and the bracelet, and then again for shoes they do get the two new pairs. Okay, Wolfgang, you might be pulling this kit off me. Not gonna lie, when I did see the little teaser of what would be coming, I was like, oh, this does feel like kind of similar, but I actually went through on stream yesterday and it's not like a direct copy. You might feel it is. I personally like went through and actually had a look of Realm of Magic, and I was like, yeah, there are similar vibes to this. Like, there's a lot of leather. There is also like a couple of the details that look the same with like a lot of these like crossovers, but I don't feel as if it feels like too similar, even though I did have that reaction when I first saw it. But obviously that is your decision to make, especially with, like I said, a lot of like the meshes that they've used. We also also did get a hooded hoodie, but it's very like basic in comparison to this one, and I will say the mesh on the hood looks a lot better if you ask me. I am getting this glitch where my Sims' eyes go massive. Has anyone else been getting this glitch? Where's the best place to build a castle, bro? Probably Tartosa, to be honest. Or romantic and shit, innit? This kit has been out for an hour and a half and I already never want to look at a castle ever again, but I'm gonna do my best to remain impartial just to show off what actually came with the castle estate kit. Starting off with the walls, we basically just have one new wall tile, which is obviously stone. I will say I reckon a lot of people's castles are gonna look similar, considering we do really only get like one piece of each of these things. It's a little bit strange, like some of them come in this like more faded, like obviously you have like a deterioration, like an aging of stone, so you have this like beige, and then it gets a little bit darker, and then it goes darker still, and then this one is the only one that actually has like grass growing between it, which I think is unfortunate. I would have liked to see this detailing used an awful lot more. Definitely doesn't feel cohesive in that way, whereas then you move on to the brown and you have that like aging, but you don't have the grass. Then you have these like three pristine ones that don't actually really come with aging. You have a bright white, you have this kind of like orange, which comes with deterioration, and then just black. I guess they maybe thought, oh well, the gray is kind of like a deterioration of that, so like we'll just stick with that. And then you also have this like cream with its deterioration. Then moving on to the tiles, they do slightly match up. There's not as much deterioration, I would say, on the floors as there are walls. There really only seems to be two swatches for each of this like weathering. Again, you don't have it for the black or the pristine white. Those are just the way that they are, and you have fun with that. And then again, you only have one swatch of the kind of like grass and flowers growing through it. I will say the flowers, it just looks like spray paint, but I do like it, and I wish that that were available on more of the tiles. When it comes to the doors, this is actually the only short door that we get, and again, it kind of comes in that like aging process. Definitely matches up with the walls. You don't really have any of like the greenery growth on the door. Then we have two, which are actually the medium walls, which is this one over here, which is basically just a larger door from the one that we saw. I will say they all have the same kind of pattern on them, so they all have this, and then you have that same pattern on the door frame. And then finally we have two tall wall heights. We have, I practiced saying this word, the portcullis. Absolutely smashed it, which is kind of like the, you know, at the end of a drawbridge. And then this bigger one, which unfortunately only has a crest of a llama. That's really the only like detailing we really have. I think it would have been cool if they offered like, I don't know, a different sort of crest on some of these, but obviously there's only so many swatches that they can do in a kit. These look like eyes, which is honestly slightly creeping me out a little bit. Windows, we have 4 on the short wall height. So we have these little like arrow slits, I guess. When they said arrow slits, I was kind of just expecting, you know, like bare wall, like cutouts, because they're the kind of arrow slits that I frequently see. I am a fan of Conway Castle. That is my favorite castle. And then you do actually have 2 different variants of this. You have one gray with like yellow in, and then you have this like cream color with a blue in, and that also runs through the rest of the windows, as we will see. So this is the second. Doesn't have a llama on the coat of arms this time around, which that feels like slightly like missed cohesion. Like, why is this one a knight and yet this like coat of arms is a llama? Like, shouldn't this coat of arms also be a llama, or is that too much llama? And then if you were going to introduce this, why wouldn't you also put that on the swatch? I don't know, maybe that's just me being picky. We have these ones right here, this like double window. This is a 2 tile one. I really like the way that these look. These come in all like these swatches basically, so cohesive with the walls, like I said, none of the growth, just like the door. And then you have the like non-deteriorated version and the aged version. You have the yellow again on the gray, and then the blue on the cream, and then you have this like pointy one, which is also a 2 tile window. On me, medium wall height, we actually have these two right here. These come in all the same colors once again. And this one right here, this one is a 4 tile. It's a 3 tile. I beg your pardon. This one is a 2 tile one. I feel like this should be classed as tall. Like, this is massive. This is apparently the largest one, and that even isn't, is that as big? I think that should be classed as a tall wall height. I think they've got the categorization wrong on that one. We have a foundation, which again comes in all the same colors. You do get the greenery on this one though, and you kind of have this like moss outlay around the outside. Obviously you can pair that up with the tiling. See, that looks a little bit weird because you don't have like the moss around this side, but you have it around that side. We have 2 new fences but not a new gate, which I think it feels unfortunate. I would have liked to see a gate that kind of matches. This is the heirloom handrail. Again, you have all the same kind of colors that we have seen, none of the growth, but you do have the like deteriorated ones. And then we have the battlement fence, which does have the growth. Maybe it's just because they're like, oh, well, this is like brick, so it would like grow through this. But again, it's only in that cream color. New staircase and no growth. You're gonna get sick of me saying that, but we do have all the same color swatches. And then also a railing to match. I will say these do feel cohesive with one another. And you can also like mix and match as well if you want to. A new column. Again, you kind of have the aging process going on. It's very top heavy, I feel, that aging process. And then we also have a new spandrel, which is actually really nice. And I do feel like you can get like a gothic theme. So I feel like it's kind of nice that obviously it's more like modern goth. Like I've seen a lot of people compare it to like more goths, and it's not really the like romantic gothic. But I feel like this is going to be good for like vampires and also Realm of Magic, or those more like romantic castles if you want to go for like the brighter, more stonewash colors. We have 1 frieze and also an exterior trim. This is the frieze. Comes in all the colors that you expect by now in this kit. And then this one over here is actually the exterior trim, which again kind of has that same pattern on it that we have seen. I do like how they've done this window on the pre-built room. Then these are the 2 items that came actually within build mode for this kit. So we have this eavesdropping llama. Pretty cool. I would have maybe liked to see like a sort of statue version, or like one that kind of like stood up a little bit more and like came out like a gargoyle. Fun fact, gargoyles used to absolutely terrify me. My sister would take me to see the Christmas lights at the Manchester Town Hall every single year, and I would just cry because I was terrified of the gargoyles. And then again, you have this, which is kind of like a crest plaque. However, there is actually a different crest on this one, which we haven't seen this whole time. Kind of very reminiscent of Sims lore. So we have the gnome, we have a, I'm assuming, grilled cheese sandwich, freezer bunny, and then a flamingo. Lore one is only available in kind of the age process, and in this we do get an aged like black one. These are the pre-built rooms that we got with this kit. It is the grand sitting room. It is giving Sims medieval, which I am very much here for. A lot of it is obviously just base game on kind of the interior. Kind of would have been cool if they had given us like a throne room, but I guess you very much could make this a throne room if you wanted to. It would have been cool for this, I think, if they had recreated some of the rooms from Sims 3 Medieval. Now, this is a very quick project from myself, so please don't judge it too harshly. Don't judge it as harshly as I am judging these kits right now. I have taken Delphi Pappy's, or maybe Marjorieverse. I don't know who was the original creator of this, so I'm gonna give both of them a shout out. This is a mini castle, and I've kind of just switched it up a little bit just to kind of show you like what you can get and the feeling you can get with this kit when it is actually on a castle. I do wish they had kind of given us like a rounded version of this column, but I did realize that the original creator of this had actually done something where they basically rotated, but I can't now rotate them to get like sort of this round look to it. Maybe I need move objects on for that. This is what I mean when I say I'm not a builder. So you probably, if you are a builder, could get a more rounded look to these columns. I kind of just wish they had given you the option, especially when I know people are going to be building turrets. RIP to all those spiral staircase believers who thought we were going to get them. I used the new door. I used some of the new windows. I obviously used the new flooring, staircase. So this is the kind of vibe you can get. We actually didn't get a new roof tile, which I would kind of expect, to be honest. Like, I feel like a lot of these aren't really gonna go with this stuff, but I am very, very interested to see what people make using this kit. I just have a feeling that you're gonna have to go for like different shapes and like different time periods of castles to make them feel different from one another. But like I said, I'm not a builder, so I'm probably not the person to ask about that. Honestly, the medieval castle kit, I think it's a cool concept. I personally am not in the camp of believers that we may never get like a medieval or like a royalty pack in the future. I definitely think that could still come. I've seen a lot of people wanting like a royal expansion pack. It's not really for me. Anything to do with the future or also the past just isn't for me personally, and I'm not gonna get a lot of use out of it, but I'm not here to squash your ideas if you're wanting to see that. I don't think that now having this in the game kind of eradicates them from going back to this theme and like expanding it, especially with how much lore we have about like Princess Cordelia. I think it's something that the team are also interested in. I mean, I'm not a builder, so I'm probably not going to get much use out of this. I do quite like the stained glass. I can see me maybe using them like every so often in like a house or even like chapels, I guess, if you are a person who likes to have like funeral homes and stuff like that in your game, and also graveyards. There's definitely a little bit of wiggle room. You don't just have to use this for castles. I'm sure there's also probably custom content out there that maybe does it a little bit better or has some more details that you were wanting to see in this kit. The Goth Creator Sim kit, I do feel like there's some assets that I'm gonna lean on very heavily. There's others that I will barely use at all, if I'm gonna be completely honest. And I kind of wish they had gone for like a slightly different subgenre of Goth just to make it feel that much more different from what we already do have in both Vampires and Realm of Magic. This is actually the sponsored portion of this video. I purchased these kits myself. I did use somebody else's creator code, but this is an ad because I do actually have an EA creator code going right now. If you enter EnglishSimmer on checkout on the EA app or Origin, I get 5% back from any sale made on any Sims pack using my code. So I just thought I would throw that out there. I just wanted to let you know that it was there if you wanted to use it. Unfortunately, it is not a discount code. You don't get any money off. It just supports me with that 5% back from any purchase made using it. You don't just have to use it on new packs. You can use it on literally any pack that exists for the Sims 4. Big thank you to you if you do use it. I appreciate the support. Let me know how you feel about these kits down below. Sorry that this was such a long video. Sorry that I am a rambler. Feel like you should have your own castle for listening to me ramble on, but I appreciate you all the same, and I will speak to you all in my next one. Bye now.